announcement today from Governor Gavin Newsom. California will become the first state in the U.S. to require COVID vaccinations for all public and private students. Already, there are a lot of questions in VCB areas. Ginger Conejero Saab has live information for us this morning from San Francisco with that announcement as it was just made. Now, Ginger, I want to start with one of the biggest questions out there. How soon can all this roll out?
Now, Marcus and Kira, that answer really depends on the FDA and when the FDA will give its full approval for a COVID vaccine for those at 12 years or older. Right now, the Pfizer vaccine is the only one that's been given emergency use approval by the FDA. But the governor says once that changes into full approval, that's when the mandate will be phased in. Now, it can happen as early as January 2022 or as late as July of 2022.
We recognize good enough never is, and that's why we recognize our responsibility to do more.
Today, doing more came in the form of a statewide vaccine requirement for all in-person learning. Governor Newsom making the announcement out of San Francisco, where the city reports more than 90% of all eligible students and teachers are already vaccinated. Newsom says this new mandate just adds to a list of already required vaccinations for school kids.
That's what we are announcing here today, a statewide requirement for in-person instruction for all of our children to add to a well-established list that currently includes 10 vaccinations and well-established rules and regulations that have been advanced by the legislature for decades.
But this mom of two isn't convinced.
I'm very pro-choice. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not anti-vax.
Irish Galang says existing vaccination requirements for her 10-year-old son have decades of medical data to ease her doubts. But she doesn't feel there's nearly as much data on the safety of the COVID vaccine.
If they feel safe being vaccinated, if they feel safe that they're going to vaccinate their children, you know what? More power to you. But I personally, and some that I know, feel safe that we don't vaccinate quite yet.
Irish says she speaks for many who feel they are being bullied into getting the vaccine. The feeling of infringement runs so deep, her family has considered leaving the state.
I feel like I'm being mentally and emotionally, and this is a really rough word, raped. If it in your gut core it feels like it's wrong, it might be wrong for you.
There was also a tremendous amount of public support for the action today. The Public Health Institute not only supports the governor's new mandate, but is pushing for it to be implemented sooner.
They should follow the lead of Los Angeles, Oakland, and other school districts and implement vaccine requirements now under the current FDA emergency use authorization.
Now, guys, you heard it from Dr. Pittman right there. The school district can also push up that timeline. It's already happened here in the Bay Area, in Oakland and in Piedmont, where the district itself can determine a vaccine mandate even with emergency use approval from the FDA. Now, there are still a lot of things that need to be ironed out with this mandate. The governor said, exemptions will exist as they do already exist for vaccine requirements that will apply for medical or personal belief exemptions, but the extent of those exemptions will be determined or are yet to be determined. There's also another requirement that's just over the horizon there. The governor announcing that all teachers and staff from schools will now also be required to be vaccinated once the first phase of that mandate rolls out. We're live in San Francisco. Ginger Conejero Saab, NBC Bay Area News.